What is up, guys, and welcome back to another Warcraft replay. We have here an Orc versus Undead matchup on the map Terenas Stand. We have Happy spawning in as the red undead player in the bottom right, and we have Orcworker spawning in as the blue orc in the top left. So yeah, it's been a while since the last upload. I think the last upload was kind of a little too soon in between from the previous one before that, and yeah, honestly, I kinda felt like maybe I'll cast like a game like maybe three days in a row, and obviously that did not happen. Yeah, it's just so tiring working every weekday, and yeah, that's pretty much all I got, honestly. Anyway, Orcworker gonna go for Blade Master first, Happy going for Death Knight first, so pretty typical stuff here. It seems to be TED opening for Happy, and yeah, right now there's not much to say. Actually, do I? Yeah, I do it. Okay, never mind. Wow, I'm completely forgetting about these stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty slow, honestly. At least in this game, and just on the channel in general. Honestly, it's nearing Christmas. Although as far as I know, there's nothing too major for me going around, aside from probably just the actual day. So yeah, we'll just expect some typical stuff, I guess, from the channel. Yeah, this game is like 30 minutes long, so I'm curious to see if it's gonna be interesting or not. Both players just farming it out for now. No scouting whatsoever just yet. Maybe not even at all. We don't know if they're gonna scout or not. Pretty sure they're just going to assume just what each other is gonna go for. I assume Happy's gonna go for the standard destroyer and maybe Crypt Fiend's rush here. Meanwhile, Orcworker, Spirit Lodge Bestiary, but who knows really. Stronghold is on the way. I expect Tolls of the Dead to be on the way as well for Happy, so nothing too out of the ordinary. It's kind of textbook plays from both sides. Mercenary camp is being pulled. I have no idea if Orcworker is actually going to hire some mercenaries or not. Orc players don't generally hire any mercs for themselves, so instead just gonna pull it out. Not yeah, I mean, not much else to say really. I'm just babbling on useless stuff right now. Interestingly enough, we might have an early encounter here with Happy, who did just take out the wizard and picked up Scourge Bone Chimes. Is just gonna go for the rogue wizard, it seems like, as his opponent is right next to him. Should have been a little curious as to why that apprentice wizard is all the way over there, but yeah, maybe Happy has finally figured out that his opponent might be nearby. Oh, seems like just past each other, as the Blade Master enters Windwalk, and he is looking for the Creepjack, possibly onto the assassin. No, he's just gonna go straight after that Death Knight, who will be able to claim the assassin with the Death Coil, and will be retreating. He does have TP scroll if he needs it. Wand of Mana Sealing is going to be used to keep the Blade Master pretty topped up of mana, as well as the Death Knight just out of mana. It seems like long distance creeping here will be able to give level 3 to the Blade Master, and he will probably just force the TP scroll. Yes, he will indeed, and that will be pretty disastrous for Happy. Kind of lost the few units he had, although I guess he only had skeletons. Ooh, he is actually stuck here inside his own base. That little unfortunate. It's gonna take a while for these ghouls to take the trees down. I am assuming that's what Happy should be doing. Yep, he will be doing that right away. Happy probably just panic TP'd instead of. I mean, you can automatically TP by double clicking or something like that on the TP scroll, and surely it shouldn't have positioned him here. I'm imagining he just TP'd onto with his minimap, and yeah, kind of screwed up there. Either way, Orcworker has plenty of freedom to farm out with his Blade Master, who is already at level 3, so I imagine the Shadow Hunter, who is going to pop out very soon, will be able to farm pretty freely, as the Blade Master should just keep the undead army under tab here. Lich pops up, unfortunately not greeted with any spectacular item, as the Lich, or the Blade Master in general, is going to be spotted with the last charge of dust. Of course, didn't seem to do too much, bit of a waste of a dust there. Sasquatch camp is going to get started, and yeah, we see Frost Armor being learnt as the first ability. It is absolutely pivotal against the Blade Master here, but considering how the Blade Master is not even like nearby, actually never mind, Lich probably wouldn't use Frost Nova for creeping anyway. Oh nice, Flute of Accuracy picked up here for the Shadow Hunter. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure most Orc players will sell the item, considering how most of your ranged units are pretty supportive units, like the Shadow Hunter and the Spirit Walkers, kind of more used for their abilities rather than the bonus damage from the Flute of Accuracy. But we'll see. He hasn't sold it just yet, and it does a decent amount of boost in DPS when combined with the Kodo, I guess. But yeah, the Kodo is just superior in all ways because it hits every unit. Happy is at level 2 on his Lich, as well as level 3 on the DK. Frost Armor put onto the statue there will sway the Blade Master from continuing on, as it seems like he's not even going to creepjack these low trash here. No dust, but the Sentry Ward is over here and has spotted the Blade Master. So Happy does know that the Blade Master is around. Of course doesn't know where he is currently, but at least he is on high alert most likely, as Destroyer Form is on the way. We actually have Fortress Tech, so yeah, interesting. War Mill, I think I noticed this in the previous Orc vs Undead. I think it was 120 and Focus? Yeah, I did notice this as well, that Fortress Tech gets teched up against an Undead matchup. Probably for Trolls, but I'm not 100% sure because Focus didn't go Trolls until like much later on, so I'm still a little iffy on this Fortress first. As we can see here, immediately Trolls have been popped out, so at least Orcworker is clear on his reason as to why he got Fortress Deck. He can also pick up the Orb of Lightning, which allows the Blade Master to hit those destroyers. So yeah, it's all good. Happy gonna go for pretty solid Pit Lord. He will be able to reduce a lot of damage from that Orc army, as the expansion is fully saturated, maybe a little too full of a saturation there, and it is completely defenseless as these Spartans are moving up to possibly get some pot shots on those peons. But yeah, here comes Orcworker. Pit Lord most likely has Howl of Terror as his first ability, and he will get right into the thick of it and cast it immediately. You can see there that the Kodo Beast's damage buff is being completely negated by that Howl of Terror. Scroll of Protection is actually going to be cast on the Undead army, as the army supply right now is at 52 for Orcworker and 47 for Happy. Kodo Beast did not devour a unit just yet, and Burrow is going to be used to try and keep these Crypt Fiends alive as long as possible. Another Howl Terror is going to be tossed up, and the statue will be able to be taken down in exchange for a Raider with that Death Coil from the Death Knight. Blade Master still very, very healthy, as well as pretty much all the heroes actually. And it seems to be an even fight. We still have, I guess, a little more units for the blue player, as the second Coda Beast is going to pop out. Crypt Fiends are going to burrow and unburrow. They're just rotating a lot, but yeah, it is not a good idea to do either, because if they're burrowed, then they just do nothing to the fight, and if they do unburrow, then I guess they just get killed off. So it's such a weird position for Happy to be in. Illusions also just being very annoying as well. It seems like the second statue is going to be taken down despite the Frost Armor there. You can see the Frost Armor actually getting purged thanks to the Orb of Lightning. And the Coda Beast, I believe they're trying to get in range for the Devourer. Oh, it just missed as the Crypt Fiend did get microed away there, but one of the Crypt Fiends will be eaten up. And the Pit Lord does get taken down at level 1. Coda Beast trying to get return killed there, but unfortunately it seems like Happy is not able to stay, as just too oppressive that Blade Master with the Orb of Lightning. He could even go after this Lich despite the Frost Armor, and I guess bank for that Purge proc, but yeah, he didn't get it at that time. Either way, nice fight for Orcworker. It seems like casualties were pretty even, aside from like these orcs, orc grunts, but yeah, as I say that, I just noticed these Crypt Fiends still burrowed here, so I have no idea if Orcworker knows that there are guys here, but yeah, the Crypt Fiends cannot afford to get up, which is a bit weird. Still at single bestiary into barracks. We are gonna see some Wyvern Wind Riders trained up here as well, although honestly we're probably not gonna be seeing those destroyers at all because of those trolled headhunters into the mix as well, so it's a bit weird. And we still only have 2 statues, which he cannot afford to lose both of those statues at all into destroyer form here. Pit Lord gonna go for another Howl here, as the Crypt Fiends are going to uproot themselves or unburrow themselves and take down Coda Beast number 1. Coda Beast number 2 is looking to fall, as well as the Healing Wave is going to get tossed over. Blade Master is doing a nice job picking up these Crypt Fiends, and the Lich is now in danger as Death Coil is going to be tossed to heal him full, as Berserker upgrades have been completed. Another Howl of Terror is going to get tossed up as Obsidian Statue number 1 gets destroyed here. Lich is down to half health, but the Death Knight still has a couple of good Death Coils left in him. Statue number 2, and that is the final statue, will be following suit here, as yeah, army supplies are still looking pretty even, 43 and 42. It is still a bit problematic for Happy, as he is still in his opponent's home turf, as blue reinforcements will just come a lot earlier than red. And yeah, burrow shuffling here with the Crypt Fiends, as it seems like the grunts will slowly fall as well. Not enough healing from the Shadow Hunter, unfortunately, as he is now out of mana. Still 39 versus 40. Crypt Fiends are gonna unburrow themselves, and a Scroll of Healing into Scroll of Armor into Scroll of Healing will try and I guess just make those units a lot better. But Coda Beast is gonna eat one up immediately. Pit Lord is at level 2, and I believe he has the cleave damage, as you can see here. His attacks do have that green effect. I believe that is cleave. It is kind of hard to notice, but I believe that is the case, as statues still just being chased around by the Blade Master, as the Lich just does not have the mana to spare for that Frost Armor. And yeah, honestly, if Orcworker actually gets some true sight, he might be able to take down those burrowed Crypt Fiends as well. As soon as I say that, the Shadow Hunter did toss up the Dust of Appearance there, and now these Crypt Fiends are not looking to be in a safe place, as they are just being exposed right now with that Dust of Appearance. Right now it doesn't seem like it it's looking easy to defend for Orcworker. He only has 2 grunts versus the tri-heroes for the undead player. I guess it's just because Happy has the 3rd hero that it does seem to be kind of a bad spot for Orcworker to be in, but yeah, he's actually going to lose a Kodo Beast as well, unfortunate. But that is going to be a huge dip in supply here for our blue player. 35 for Orcworker, 39 for Happy. So pretty much like 1 or 2 units disadvantage for the Orc player. I mean, he's taking down so many statues this game, but unfortunately it just doesn't seem to be enough. Blade Master at level 5, but Frost Armor just making him a lot less efficient. More raiders being added to the mix here. Wind Riders doesn't seem like they are going to follow, as we're just going to go Mass Raiders for now. Mass Raiders and probably Mass Grunts. Shadowhunters would have been pretty good, I guess, to deal with the Howl of Terror, but obviously once Shadowhunters enter the game, those statues would gladly turn into destroyers and eat up those buffs. Blaymaster is still doing work on those statues here, as Lich is not bothering to Frost Armor the statue, instead able to snipe down the Shadowhunter at level 3. Yeah, it is a weird fight right now. The heroes for Happy seem to be a little too difficult for Orcworker to deal with, but Orcworker still is able to mass up a lot more units compared to his opponent. He's actually gonna go for a counterattack, actually, which is really weird. I guess interesting is probably a better choice instead of weird. Since this is his expansion, going for the main base is probably a lot better. And we do hear double sappers being hired up here. It's going to be so difficult to actually take these guys out. As you can see there, Black Citadel and the tower is going to focus fire sapper number 1. Sapper number 2 still running around, and I don't think he's going to get his target, as he is just going to get killed off here. Oh, so unfortunate not to see any of those going off, but alas, is going to force Happy to actually retreat here. No TP scroll is available, I don't think, for the Orc player, and this is actually going to be disastrous for Orcworker, actually. I believe the Shadowhunter was the one that had the TP scroll, and he is not alive. Blademaster is also out of mana, so he can't actually windwalk out of there. Is going to pop the invuln, but Happy is not going to let this guy run away. I believe Windwalk's mana is available right now. There we go. Oh, but he has been dusted. Will he be sniped? Oh, one hit from the Pit Lord, one more hit from the Lich could potentially kill him, but it seems like he will be able to retreat with barely any health left. So it's I was scratching my head, I guess, as to why he stayed after seeing the TV scroll. He should have backed off and cut his losses there, but he stayed, and he almost paid the price, honestly. It's kind of bad. Actually, it's probably really bad for Orcworker. His expansion did get destroyed, so yeah, just a bad spot for the Orc player right now.
We need more lumber. Vengeance for Surgi.
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. Having to rebuild the expansion, I believe Happy's just gonna... He's moving this school, but I have no idea if he's gonna go for an all-in, or if he's gonna continue this game and make it a little longer, go for an expansion of his own. But right now, towers are gonna be placed down to hopefully try and keep the space alive longer. And this is probably not a good fight for Happy to choose, but the Frost Nova combo, Nova Coil combo onto the Blademaster will force him to invuln very early on. He is at 200 health, but he will be healed up with the wave. Speed Scroll is going to be used probably just to corner this Pit Lord. Oh, that was a huge crit onto the Pit Lord, and the Death Coil will be able to save him before the Blade Master is able to finish the job. Shadow Hunter getting Nova Coiled as well, and he will follow suit. Actually following no one actually, because the Pit Lord did not get taken down. Shadow Hunter dies once again. Watchtowers had been completed, but is that going to be enough? Seems like that isn't going to be enough, as Happy has not that great of units to tank up 3 towers worth of shots, but I mean that was still pretty good. Down in supply, he did choose that fight, was able to snipe one of those heroes before running away with pretty much no losses. I think he only brought 1 Crypt Fiend, and I think he Dark Ritualed it instead, so all in all it was almost lossless for Happy. Blade Master running around halfway to level 6. I'm not sure if we're gonna see that not Cyclone. What is it? What is it? Whirlwind? Wait. Oh, Blade Storm. Blade Storm. What am I thinking? I don't think we will see Blade Storm, because I honestly think he'll just be at low mana for all future fights, but we'll see. We'll see. Happy. I mean, this Destroyer upgrade has done pretty much nothing, but then again, it is just a deterrent for any Spirit Lodge shenanigans coming in from Orcworker. Seems like Orcworker is just going to resort to long distance creeping here. Blade Master is going to take down one of the Acolytes with a huge crit. I believe that Acolyte was moving to get an expansion down, but that did end up failing, as the Blade Master was successfully able to take him down. But of course, Acolyte number 2 is just moving out himself, so delaying it by a couple of seconds, but that's pretty much it. Shadowhunter has returned once again. He needs invuln pots. Unfortunately, Orcworker can't really afford that expensive of items. He is going to sell all his items, and he can pick up an invuln if he wants, but I don't know if he wants to do that, or if he wants to place down a Great Hole. Shade is right under here, so it is keeping tabs on at least the majority of the army. Blade Master is still a mystery, as he is running around with Windwalk once again. Haunted Goldmine is in process, as we're just going for a lot of shades for Happy. Shadowhunter, I believe, is going to pick up the Pocket Great Hole, because he wants to build the Great Hole as quickly as possible, I guess. Or I guess not. Goldmine is going to get unsummoned. Blade Master has been spotted by the Shade, so yeah, Blade Master probably won't have as much liberties as he did in the past. And yeah, Goldmine, it seems like it is going to be completed. Shadowhunter still not doing much. Wow, double Shade. Happy is getting a lot of shades for himself, and he is actually going to be training up some ghouls, because I believe he has a lot more gold than lumber, I guess. Nope. But I guess he just wants some solid bodies, ideally for the Dark Ritual. Shade has been body blocking the Pocket Great Hole and will be revealed just for it to be placed down, so this long distance mining will no longer be needed. But then again, his opponent is done with his own Haunted Goldmine, so this game's gonna go on for a little bit longer. Armor supply is at 44 for Happy and 46 for Orcworker. Heroes, level 5 Blade Master, very close to level 4 Shadowhunter. Level 5 Death Knight, level 3 Pit Lord, and level 4 Lich. So the important thing to see is that the Blade Master is very close to level 6. Unfortunately, with shades around, it's going to be tough to maneuver with that Windwalk, especially in team fights, because his opponent will probably keep his eye on that Blade Master. You see there, Nova Coil onto the Blade Master doing a good amount of damage. He also will have to rely on invulns and health pots. Shadow Order, I believe, is going to pick up his own as well. But yeah, curious to see if Happy's going to use the armor scroll once again. It's a pretty good item, but it just costs a little too much for, I guess, what little it does. But then again, that little will indeed help. Blade Master running around still. I mean, it's just so hard for him to deal with those shades. He can't do anything against them, and the shade will spot them a mile away. Banshees going to be added as well for Happy, so just diversifying his army comp a little bit more. Blade Master spotted immediately, but surely he has noticed the Temple of the Damned. He should have. He stood right here, so it might be a glitch. I don't know, but because he didn't see this either, so that's weird.
Research complete.
Battle Drum upgrades has been completed, so instead of 10%, I believe it is 20. And is indeed going to low upkeep, although I'm not sure if that is intentional or not. Seeing as he was not killing off any headhunters or berserkers, that is not a mistake. But he is stuck at 52. Oh, he's massing up quite a few headhunters, berserkers here. Altar of Stones was actually making something, but stopped instead, so not sure what third hero could potentially turn this around. Probably none. Still at 50 supply for Happy. I mean, he is enjoying this no tax. Meanwhile, Orcworker only 6 above that upkeep point, and he is suffering that tax, so he needs to either make an 80 supply army quickly, or he's gonna lose so much potential gold because of that tax. And right now he is just massing up those troll berserkers. Bestiary number 2 gets placed down. We even have a Spirit Lodge as well, so just a huge number of production buildings for the Orc player. Not sure if he can afford it because he's still only mining off of 1 base and in low upkeep tax, so yeah. Happy's expanding once again in the bottom left, and this has yet to be spotted and could just be the main way as for him to win, I guess. Oh wow, there's so much diversity on this army. We have 1 Wind Rider, we have a Spirit Walker, we have Berserkers, we have Grunts, and we have Kodos. And 1 Raider, I guess. Blade Master has been spotted, is going to go after the Acolyte there, but unfortunately, yeah, those misprocs are just too deadly for him. Is finally able to get lucky and kill off the Acolyte there, but at least he knows now that Banshees are in play, so Spirit Walkers are just looking a lot better because they can disenchant that curse. And it seems like both players are looking for possibly a final fight here. 67 for Happy, 66 for Orcworker. Happy is looking to win the long game at least because he has that second expansion. But yeah, Orcworker still very close to level 6 on his Blade Master, but with only 100 mana available and him just using it on Windwalks, I don't think we'll be able to see it in an actual team fight, which might be ensuing right now as the ghouls are running in with that frenzy upgrade. A huge amount of damage onto the first wyvern here as 3 destroyers are in the air and 2 statues on the ground. Howl of Terror is just doing so much damage DPS reduction onto the Orc player, and the Blade Master is finally finally joining the fray, but is it too little too late? It seems like the curse procs are just too much. The curse and the Howl of Terror, there's just so much debuffs onto the Orc player here. It's looking very one-sided actually, and that is just gonna be game as Happy absolutely demolishes Orcworker in that final team fight. Just was it level 4 Pit Lord, so that is level 2 Howl of Terror, as well as just curses from the Banshees. That's just too much loss of DPS there, and that is going to be this pretty lengthy game. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys again whenever I can.